SCP-173 is a murderous concrete statue from the SCP Foundation, known for snapping necks. When you're not looking, it's not just the fact that it kills you the moment you blink, it's the way it waits. SCP-173 is every sleep paralysis demon you ever met, dipped in dried blood and twitching like a broken marionette with hate issues. It stands there like a middle school art project possessed by a war crime, and the second your eyes shut, crunch, no remorse, no build-up, just snap like celery in the hands of a psychopath. And somehow this blank-face sculpture is the foundation of an entire universe. Like, how did we let this thing spawn hundreds of thousands of fan submissions and philosophical breakdowns on Reddit? A creature that looks like it was built from industrial waste and bad vibes became god-tier mythos. It broke fiction because it turned fear into math. Don't blink, stay alive. Blink next salad. It doesn't hunt. It doesn't move unless you can't prove it. It doesn't have a backstory that gives it mercy. You can contain it in a metal box, stare at it with two coworkers, and the second Steve sneezes, game over. If paranoia were a deity, SCP-173 would be its prophet. It weaponizes your humanity, your tears, your dust-ridden eyeballs, your need to rest. It's not chasing you, you're chasing your own terror, while it silently waits to break your bones like breadsticks at Olive Garden. The Rake is a creepypasta creature described as a hairless humanoid that invades dreams, kills families, and stares into your soul with eyes that scream, "You shouldn't have opened that door." Where do I begin with this moldy slice of human-shaped evil? The Rake is what happens when sleep paralysis decides to get real personal. It doesn't even chase, it just watches from corners, watches while you're pretending that blanket is armor. It lives in the quiet dread between midnight and dawn, the hour when the fridge hum becomes a horror soundtrack and the shadows look off. Every story about the Rake feels like a fever dream written by someone mid-breakdown. A family man wakes up to find his child shredded, and this pale nightmare crouching at the foot of his bed. No roar, no declaration, just staring like a corrupted cat, trying to understand why you're not already dead. It's not just the violence, it's the gloating silence. It takes pleasure in your realization that it was always there, that you've seen it. In the trees, in the corners of dreams, in the grainy smear at the edge of a security cam. It doesn't need a motive, it doesn't need to make sense, it needs you to believe it's real, and then it ruins your life. The Rake doesn't scream at you, it lets you scream for it. Smile Dog is a cursed image of a demonic husky with a human-like grin that drives viewers insane. Look, you ever stare into an image so cursed your brain starts glitching like a corrupted MP3 file from 2002? That Smile Dog, it's a JPEG that downloads itself into your neurology, not malware. You click on it thinking it's some forgotten meme from the dial-up era, and next thing you know, your dreams are filled with whispering, static, and the sound of 1,000 teeth grinding just behind your eyes. The smile doesn't even make sense. It's not just the Photoshop from hell grin, it's the implication that this thing knows you're looking at it, knows you're trying not to look again, knows you're about to share it, because misery loves company and insanity breeds best. When it's viral, Smile Dog doesn't chase you in alleys or lurk in basements. It embeds itself in your hard drive, in your cortex, in your dreams. Victims don't scream, they rot, they glitch, they forward it. The only escape is sending it to someone else, like a haunted chain email cursed by Satan and AOL. And what's worse, it asks nicely, spread the word, with a grin that belongs on a dog that's seen God and didn't like what it saw. This isn't an image, it's a dare, and every time you blink you swear you hear it breathing behind the pixels. You can delete the file, sure, but good luck deleting it from your REM cycles. Zalgo is an internet horror entity that represents the corruption of text, thought, and reality itself. Zalgo is not a monster, he is a malfunction in language, a punctuation mark with blood in its throat, the reason why you can't look at glitched Unicode without feeling like something ancient just blinked at you through your screen. He doesn't arrive on horseback, arrives in broken fonts and whispers inside parentheses that weren't closed. He is what your keyboard would type if it were possessed by the void. Reading Zalgo text feels like your brain is swallowing itself. Words fall apart mid-sentence, grammar chokes on itself. Even thinking about Zalgo feels like you've downloaded malware into your soul. People say he comes, not that he walks or hunts or exists, he comes like a grammatical apocalypse, like a slow descent into madness wrapped in HTML. And when he arrives, your sentences die, your syntax bleeds, your inner monologue becomes a screaming dial-up modem having a stroke. Zalgo doesn't just Break the fourth wall, melts it, smears it across your face, and whispers code into your dreams. He is the typo that rearranges your DNA, the corrupted gift that infects your childhood memories. He is existential rot in Comic Sans. The reason you're afraid of Zalgo isn't because he kills you, it's because he rewrites you, and you still work afterward. Ben Drowned is a haunted Majora's Mask cartridge that became self-aware and dragged an entire generation into a cursed digital spiral. Ben Drowned didn't just kill Link, it killed innocence. 1 second you're playing your favorite nostalgic game, and the next your console starts crying blood and chanting in reverse Latin. It takes everything you loved about childhood, 8-bit music, blocky textures, the creepy moon, and bends it into a demonic screensaver for your trauma. What makes Ben truly satanic isn't the jump scares, it's how intimate the horror feels. It speaks directly to you, it types your name, it leaves cryptic save files titled, "You shouldn't have done that." It gaslights you in binary. It doesn't just glitch, it sulks. Ben is the kid at school who never blinked and always had scissors. Ben wants to be you, but broken. And let's talk about that statue, the elegy of emptiness, that face blank frozen, like someone paused a scream mid-death. You can't unsee it. It's tattooed behind your eyelids. That thing doesn't move. But it's always closer when you look back. It just stands there like an emotionally unavailable poltergeist, judging your life choices. Ben Drowned is the reason millennials trust no update, no download, and no cartridge without a label. Because deep down we all know there's something in the code, waiting, watching, writing logs of your terror, annihilation, one corrupted frame at a time. Herobrine is the myth of a ghostly Minecraft figure, Steve's dead brother, watching you from the fog, leaving cryptic signs, and deleting your world 1 block at a time. You know what's terrifying? Nothingness with intent. Herobrine is a blank-faced player model with white eyes and infinite malice. No glitch, no mod, no update ever confirms he exists, but everyone knows he does. He's the collective paranoia of 30 million kids who spent too many nights mining alone, swearing they saw something watching from the tree line. Herobrine doesn't kill you, he doesn't jump scare you, he gaslights you at a pixel level. Tunnels you didn't dig appear, leaves vanish, doors open and close without sound, signs appear that just say stop, cows die mysteriously, your dog disappears, and there he is standing motionless in the distance, just staring. He's the ghost of what you thought Minecraft was supposed to be, an innocent world of blocks and joy, now turned into a silent digital stalker simulator. Herobrine is your fear of being watched coded into a sandbox game. He is digital schizophrenia in a flannel shirt. The most brutal part, you can't fight him, you can't uninstall him. He's a rumor, an urban legend, a blank slate of terror projected onto innocent terrain. He is the creepypasta your cousin swore happened to him on his old PC, and you're still afraid to load up single player just in case that white-eyed silhouette is still waiting in the mist. Candle Cove is a fictional haunted children's TV show that only kids remember, and even then they remember it wrong. Candle Cove is not a show, it's a collective hallucination with a theme song, supposedly aired in the 70s or early 80s. It starred sock puppet pirates, jittery visuals, and a host named the Skin Taker. Kids remembered watching it, adults remembered seeing them sit in front of static for 30 minutes, no audio, no visuals, just buzzing white noise, and the children laughed. Let that rot in your skull. For a moment, a generation of kids sat hypnotized in front of the television, giggling at a non-existent program, while some unseen intelligence spoon-fed them trauma and Morse code. Candle Cove is memory decay with a script. It's a cursed nostalgia parasite wrapped in wool and broadcast at 3 a.m. The Skin Taker with his cape, made of children's flesh and jaw that didn't move right, wasn't even the worst part. The worst part was how normal it felt to the kids. They loved it, they begged for it, and then they forgot. Until some cursed forum thread reminded them all at once, like trauma breaking through a firewall. Candle Cove doesn't haunt VHS tapes, it haunts you, your gaps, your past, your trust in what was real. It's the Mandela effect's satanic cousin, and when you try to explain it, your mouth goes dry, and your parents stare at you like you were the TV static. Now Candle Cove wasn't broadcast, it possessed. The Mandela Catalog is an analog horror series where alternate entities that perfectly mimic humans invade reality and psychologically dismantle their victims. This isn't just doppelganger horror, this is identity terrorism in VHS format. The Mandela Catalog doesn't go for blood, it goes for your concept of self. These creatures don't want to be you, they want to replace you while you watch, and they'll do it smiling. Pixelated and loafy, imagine a face that looks almost like yours, just a little off jaw. Slightly too wide, eyes a fraction too large, it calls your name in your mother's voice. But something in your gut screams, nope. The Mandela catalog is what happens when the uncanny valley gets fed after midnight and decides to colonize your home. Movies. The horror here isn't gore, it's substitution. Your family, your neighbors, your own reflection, all slowly overwritten by something pretending it's always been them. And you're stuck in the denial phase while the TV flickers. The voice message is corrupt. And someone who looks like your dad is standing too still in the hallway. The worst part, you don't die screaming, you die doubting your own memory, your sanity, your survival instincts. You second-guess everything until the alternate doesn't have to kill you, you do it for them. The Mandela catalog isn't horror, it's an infection of perception. Siren Head is a 40-foot-tall, emaciated monster with air raid sirens for a head, broadcasting war cries, distorted voices, and your worst memories. Siren Head doesn't stalk you, it broadcasts you. It plays the sound of your mom crying, your voicemail, the emergency alert system from 2001. It makes noise personal. You'll be walking through the woods and suddenly hear your childhood bedroom alarm distorted and drenched in static echoing. Across the trees, this thing is a towering relic of death, rusty, gaunt flesh. Stretched too tightly over bone, no face, just metal megaphones where empathy should be. And the moment you realize the sirens aren't coming from the town over, but from above you, it's already too late. Siren Head is a trauma fossil. It's every Cold War panic, every Amber Alert, every tornado drill you sat through in third grade, all jammed into one towering cryptid that sounds like the end of the world. It doesn't talk, it doesn't chase, it announces. You'll hear the words, "This is not a test," and then your ribs cave in. And the worst part, it's not new. Siren Head feels ancient, like it predates electricity, just waiting for humanity to invent speakers so it could finally speak. It's not from another planet, it's from our failure to forget. Siren Head is what happens when fear gets infrastructure. The Walton Files is an analog horror series disguised as lost children's entertainment, except it's secretly a grief-stricken nightmare smeared in Chuck E. Cheese blood and VHS static. On the surface, it's just another haunted animatronic story. Right, wrong, this isn't Five Nights at Freddy's. It's FNAF's deranged, emotionally unstable cousin who drinks battery acid and paints trauma with a crayon. The Walton Files is what happens when unresolved death, corrupted innocence, and denial take the shape of grinning cartoon mascots with murder in their joints. Every tape feels like it's falling apart while you watch. The colors wrong, the audio warped, the smiles forced, and beneath every scene of bright-eyed bunnies and upbeat jingles is a creeping dread that something is trying to crawl through the screen, not to hurt you, but to make you remember something you never lived. These characters, Bon Banny Shathier, not mascots, they're mausoleums. Each is a puppet for someone who died horribly, trapped in furry corpses and bad memories. And the worst part, they want to play, they need to play, because if they stop, if they realize what's really going on, they'll rot. Walton Files doesn't tell a story, it leaks one through corrupted file names, through smiling corpses, through blinking opposite shots of eyes where they shouldn't be. It's not jump scares, it's emotional decay, a trauma loop that won't stop rewinding itself. You don't watch Walton Files, you get trapped in it.